Howdy, y'all.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, Bob?
Nice to meet you in person. Well, as close to in person as we're getting right now.
Yeah, nice to meet you, dude.
So you're an AWS intern?
Yeah, I'm an AWS intern. I'm on their observability team, so really perfect for it, you know.
Yeah, how about it? And are you in New York?
No, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in the Bay Area,
Oh,
right where the office is. Yeah.
sweet. That's cool.
But
I love
yeah,
it.
I'm
I
able,
love that spot.
yeah, I'm able to go in and out of the office, which is nice because, you know, with everything being closed, it's kind of nice to be in person for some stuff.
That's true. Sean, how we doing today? I think you're muted.
Not bad. Just been watching the OllyCon videos.
Oh, yeah, I need to check those out.
You catch any good videos, Sean?
There's sort of two tracks at the minute, both talking about OpenTelemetry.
Perfect.
So yeah.
And did I read that you're also emitting 5G radiation now?
Yeah, correct.
Nice. Is that shot 1 or 2?
Number one.
Nice. That's good. Congratulations. Wait a couple more minutes for others to show up. I don't know which New Relic peeps are coming today, if any.
I guess we can get rolling. It seems like we're going to be the three people here. So let's see. We have Oliver's open PR that we can talk about. It looks like he stepped away for a second. That's all right. And then, Sean, is there anything in particular that you wanted to bring up today?
I was just going to mention progress on the HTTP exporter.
Okay. What did you want to talk about with it? You said you're working on that PR.
Yeah, so I'm going to put up a work in progress draft PR probably later this evening.
Okay.
So at the minute it works, which is good. I think it's basically there's no tests and some other bits are missing around setting sort of passing headers and the other flags that you get to set when configuring that. However,
dealing with that in a text-based protocol is going to be slightly different than dealing with it in a binary protocol, but
yeah.
Hopefully that makes it easier. But sometimes the escape sequences will escape you.
So yeah, one of the issues I did run into with getting this to work is that the OTLP over JSON is a bit complicated with how they've done stuff around which I was reading a GitHub issue on this from last year, I think, because trace ID and span ID are hex encoded binary, whereas the gRP's, well, rather protobuf's default JSON serializer will convert those to base 64. And other than Go, there's no other kind of other languages. You basically have to write your own serializer. So I think for the minute I'm leaving that out.
Okay.
But OTLP, I don't really know how you meant to kind of say it, because it's OTLP over HTTP encoded in protobuf.
Yeah, that seems kind of funky to me. If you, what I would do is I would look at whoever created the OTEP for OTLP over HTTP and ask them questions. I know they're like really, really interested and responsive to talking about the OTLP protocol or OTLP because it's new. And I think that the more feedback they get from the community, the better off they're going to be. Do you want me to help you find that?
I think I did find one of the OTAPs.
The specification.
Yeah, for the minute, it works fine using protobuf binary to send to the collector, which I think is just what we need. And also
I think the HTTP version is something people are going to ask for, but I realistically think most people are really going to want to use the gRPC version unless they have some sort of weird caveat. gRPC can be very tricky with PHP sometimes. People don't want to install the extension. Like I've seen some like weird edge cases where it causes problems in production environments. So there's still I think there's still definitely value in having the HTTP version, but I would guess that the adoption rate would probably be like 70-30 or 80-20 with gRPC versus HTTP.
Yeah, kind of just my experience implementing the gRPC but exporter, I'd rather not have to use that. Just because of the hassle of it's not too hard to get gRPC onto PHP. It's just it's a bit of a pain in the ways that I work with it. Whereas anything can send HTTP requests.
Right. Yeah. And it's especially with PHP being the tomfoolery language that it is, like people are going to want to send plain HTTP requests. So I think there's definitely still a ton of inherent value in doing the OTLP over HTTP thing. I think it probably even more so than a lot of the other languages like Java and Go and all those are definitely like the developers that use those are going to be much more likely to implement a gRPC implementation than say PHP, like somebody who's doing a Laravel implementation or whatever.
Yeah, I think in the Ruby one, OTLP with HTTP with protobuf is how they do it at the minute. I don't think they do JSON either.
Yeah, I think that Matt Weir is the Ruby SIG maintainer. You could probably ask him a lot of questions about that. He's really smart and usually very quick to respond. So that's good. Thank you for working on that. I'm happy to help you review a PR or do whatever you need from me. I'm happy to walk through stuff with you too.
No worries, thanks.
Oliver, do you want to talk about your PR a little bit?
I currently don't have any PRs in
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of that. I think there's 2 Amazon interns working.
Yeah, there's one Alex who's on. Who also is working on a PR right now. I'm working on
just autopiloted. That's my bad.
Yeah. I do have a question. Like, what are these? How many people are usually at these SIG meetings? Because I know PHP is a little bit smaller, but
yeah, usually we have anywhere between 2 and 5 people at the SIG meetings. We're trying to make them a little bit bigger, but I think it's just like an adoption thing. We're starting to see more momentum in our SIG versus some of the other ones, but the more the merrier. So if you have other people that you think might be interested, please feel free to invite them.
100%. Okay. But yeah,
Cool.
the
You
thing
said
is,
you have. Sorry, go ahead.
I was looking for like when I was doing essentially like Amazon tells us to start with like an issue first, right? And then
Sure.
get hotel um membership. And I was looking for some, I think this might be a point in the agenda for tomorrow. But it's stuff in the backlog, like most of the stuff that was like available, at least in the traces area, was like already merged. But I assume it's just like creating more first issues is what Alalita wanted in the PHP one.
I understand. Yeah, I can take the action item of tagging some of these as good first issues if that would be helpful for you. I think that we haven't, most of the contributors that we've had so far are pretty seasoned PHP developers, but it's probably,
Yeah.
it would probably be really helpful to have. I think we have a label that is good first issue. Let me check.
Yeah, 100% you do.
But there's only two things that are tagged with that, so that doesn't really help a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I will, I'll take that action item today to come up to find a good first issue.
For sure.
It looks like Alex might have used that filter as a litmus test for himself to pick that exporter factory.
Yeah, he took the one in the tracings project.
Yeah, the connection string selector support one, which is good. Cool.
Because some of the other ones in the tracing backlogs that says to do, like all the other bugs, I think are already merged. So
interesting. Which ones do you have examples of ones that you think
like,
are merged?
Issue 235, right? Yeah, issue span context does not conform to latest OTel spec.
Okay.
If you look in the projects, tracing to do.
Yeah, I see it. It's yeah, that one does. I think that the project manager for this has not been doing a spectacular job of grooming the backlog. So, but I agree with you. I think that this one's done already. I'm going to close it. Thank you for letting me know.
So you guys have a specific project manager that like manages these, I guess. Yeah,
supposed to. She's been hit or miss with some of the implementation. So I will do my best to come up with some good first issues for you. Realistically, anything that's required for GA, that has the required for GA tag, those would be excellent issues to work on. Some of them might be a little bit more difficult than others, so I can go through and parse through and find some that are good first issues. And then do you want me to just slack you and let you know when I have some of those?
Well, for me, I'm currently doing, I think it might just be so that she is able to give more interns like PHP issues, so you guys have more people working on it essentially. Like right now, what I'm working on a C++ issue. It's almost merged. I just have to fix like a little test, but like essentially it's just to get membership first. But what we're working on, at least the project she gave me, is doing the implementation of or adding X-ray, AWS X-ray support to the PHP library.
That's right. We don't have and I don't think we have an issue for that yet. Should we create one?
I'm writing up a draft right now, and then I have a one-on-one meeting with Alita later. But yeah, I just have to present the issue draft and then the other drafts and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll get it up soon enough, I guess.
That's awesome, and that's going to be a super helpful issue. And I can tell you from experience that Amber Zestia, she works for New Relic, and she did a New Relic exporter. So that should be like a really, really clean example for you to like grok, and maybe that will help you to understand some of our implementation strategy. And it's realistically, it's probably like taking her PR for that. I think it's in the contrib folder, and like, I don't want to say copying because it's definitely not like this is definitely a dry case. Like you're going to have specific examples for X-ray that they're not going to have, but I'm sure it will be. I don't think it will be light years different, I guess I should say.
You said for the New Relic one?
Yeah, there's a New Relic.
Okay, yeah, here it is.
Let me
Yeah, I found it. This is for the exporter out of any given application, essentially.
Right. So that exporter will take the traces that get generated in an application and push them to New Relic. And I'm assuming that'll be something relatively similar for X-ray.
Yeah, so currently like I have a few requirements to do like creating an ID propagator and like an ID generator or propagator and also a collector exporter, which would be in the collector contrib, but yeah, I think this will be super useful just to see how she wrote in PHP, because there's also we also had other interns like previously in previous I guess like semesters or whatever do it for other languages. So like they have it already implemented for JS and Go. So I can also use that code base as well as this exporter as a reference.
It's like this, Oliver. You just like take all these PRs and just like slap them all together, and then you come up with your final result.
Exactly.
But, yeah, if you get stuck there, if you need any help, or if you like even just have any basic questions, I'm more than happy to help you out.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're talking more tomorrow, I think, too. Right?
Yeah, we have a meeting at your time, 3 p.m.
My time, 3 p.m. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, lunchtime for you.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. I think that's all that was on my agenda for today. Anything else y'all want to bring up before we adjourn?
I did drop a comment on that other PR about the, what was it called?
Oh, the one that Alex made?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just wondering how we'd want headers to be supported with that, because that looks like a really nice integration, because how I'd understand that you change the exporter, it's pretty nice just to be able to change the prefix in effect and use a different exporter. However, in the way that I'd be using it, I'd need to set a couple of headers, which, yeah. And then I also compared that with, so I'd be kind of wanting some headers to use on the OTLP exporter, but then I compared how Zipkin, the Zipkin exporter, worked with the New Relic Zipkin exporter, and they are basically identical, other than the Zipkin one, the New Relic Zipkin exporter just adds a header. So it's probably
Zipkin under the hood, just like a bunch of syntactic sugar added on top of it. I have no doubt. You could ask Fami or Amber about that if you want to know more about their implementation and like if there's any other caveats that you need to be aware of.
Yeah, so the way that I'd understand it is that basically that exporter wouldn't need to exist if you could easily just set headers in the current Zipkin exporter, and also if this exporter factory could also support setting headers, it would keep everything very open telemetry and vendor neutral.
So I think you just want to pass in those headers as like an array of values so that it can be used in the exporter factory?
In my comment, which
I don't think you submitted it, maybe.
My comment is on the issue.
Issue
184. Yeah.
You said 184?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking a look.
I figured it was best to have the discussion on the issue rather than the implementation.
Cool. Yeah, I agree. I did see this earlier. I'm sorry, I forgot to address it. I agree with you. Like that seems like a really great way to deal with this. I think that's a good plan. So maybe I'll tag Amber on this too, because she has a lot of contextual awareness for this.
So yeah, I feel like this could help with those Zipkin exporters as well as the OTLP ones.
Cool. Yeah, that anything to clean up that implementation is good, because you hate to have to like anytime we make a change for every single type of exporter that we have.
Yeah.
And every single type of it compounds very quickly, and the more upstream providers we have, the more ugly it's going to get. Cool beans. Oliver, did you say you had something else you want to bring up too?
No, I'm all good. I'm good for today.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, then I will see you on the internet, and I'll see you here next time, same place.
All right. Peace out.
So, yeah.
Have a good day, y'all.